Alright guys, welcome back to Driver's Therapy. Today's video is going to be something exciting. One of our viewers left a comment and here it is. I think it's a great idea. I'm pretty excited. We're going to go through every button of the NSX. We're going to get familiar with it, and I'm sure there's going to be buttons I don't know, but it's going to be exciting. So let's go ahead and dive right into the video. Okay, we're going to start off with the first button, and that's going to be the one in our hand. So this keyless entry fob, of course this car's from 1991. It allows you to have keyless entry. You have your arm and disarm button, which also activates the anti-theft system, and you have your panic button. We're going to circle through the arm and disarm, which unlocks and locks the car, so you can see that, but we will not be doing the panic button. Okay, so let's go ahead and arm and disarm, or unlock and unlock. When we do that, you could visually see it unlock and lock. Okay, now that the car is unlocked, we're going to use this door handle right here, which is pretty neat. And oh, car locked itself again. Let's go ahead and unlock. We're going to hit that and we're going to open it up. I'm going to start off with the buttons and the levers that open and activate things in the exterior. So let's go ahead and start with our first one, which is our fuel door. Our fuel door button is here, so we're going to push that up. That's going to open up our fuel door. Our second button is going to be for our trunk that we're going to be looking at, and our trunk button is right there. Let's press it. Let's go back. Okay, right, and here is our trunk is open. So while we're in the trunk, we do have a couple buttons and levers. The first one is going to be for our 6 CD changer, and that's going to be right here. You're going to push down this lever and then you're going to slide this door open, and that is where your 6 CD changer is at. And to eject the cartridge, we're going to press this button. You remove this, and inside here is your 6 CDs. You pick the ones that you like. You place it back in gently. You push down. You close the door. And you're going to hit the lever to set the system upright for driving. Okay, that's going to be it for the trunk. All right, the next lever is going to be for the engine. See if we could get a good picture of that one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and press it. What that's going to do is it's going to unlock this hatch in the back. There's going to be an area where you could place your hand here. We're going to lift it up, and this glass hatch is being held by these nice little struts. We're going to place this up right here, and that is where our engine's at. Okay, that's how you gain access to that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and place this back down and lower that down, your hand on the crevice, and then gently push down. Okay, that's going to be for the buttons on the outside. We have one left. Okay, come back down here, it's going to be for the front. We come around to the front, just like a normal hood latch. We'll find a little lever, and there it is. That is how you access the front. Where's the engine at? Okay, we have access to front. Alright, now let's go ahead and get to the interior. Okay, let's talk about the power seats. The power seats allow you to adjust them forward and back, and to recline back and forth. They're power seats, and those switches will activate that. since I like my seat position, we will not be doing that, but it is a button and we will show it. Okay, we're going to be starting off with the sensor console. Let's start from the top and go to the bottom. All right, the top right here is going to be your clock. So let me go ahead and put a little bit of power in there. Okay, so you see your clock is there. The first little compartment here we have is going to be where you could adjust the time for your clock. So we have the hour, minute, and reset. All right, come over to the right side, there's nothing there. And then you have your standard vents, of course, with movement on each way. All right, we're gonna move to the climate control. Okay, the climate control system, you hit AC. With AC, you could go with AC on or AC off. And in mode, of course, it's going to be diverting the air to whatever mode you want, top, bottom, both. Then we have our defroster. And then we're gonna have our outside air. And then we're gonna have our inside air. Okay, on the left side, we have a knob that can control the temperature itself. As you can see, the temperature is moving. And a digital readout. And we have auto. I think that's neat for it being a car from 1991. Right, the right side, we have our off and on button. And we have our blower speed. Variable blower speed with this knob. You can switch it off or then go over and put it to auto. We're gonna go ahead and press it off. Okay, moving on to the radio. Well, unfortunately, we can't play music to show you how it's adjusted using these knobs and buttons because YouTube will be like, you use music, copyright. So we'll show you. So these are push in, push out. So you push in and then it comes out. So the balance, of course, is your right and your left, and you're gonna move it to the left to the right and push it back wherever you have the setting. And the second one is actually really neat. And you push it out, and there's actually two adjustments in this one little knob. You have your one little knob in here that adjusts the treble, and then you have your adjustment for the bass and the bottom. When you're done, you push it in, and it's set. This is where the cassette goes. This is the eject button for the cassette, and I don't know what this is. Guys, we are learning together. If you know what that is, leave it in the comment. All right. The next part is going to be the radio. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on for you, but with no volume. And as we showed you earlier, there's 6 CD changers in the back, and right now we have in CD mode. So this button is for your volume, and you're going to have your on and off switch. Up here is going to be seek. That's going to be for when you're doing FM or AM station tunings. And then here are going to be your presets for your radio, but it's a dual function button. So they're preset for when you're in radio. So if we switch to radio, they're presets. But when you're on CD, they have a different purpose. So when you hit program or 7, it switches to CD. And in the back, the CD changer will switch them out of the 6 CDs, whichever one you want. And you could go forward and you could go fast forward and so on and so on. So here you have your select button for whatever you're trying to select. And I know that didn't make sense because I really don't know what that select button does. So which is A select. If you know what A select means, please leave that in a comment. Okay, and then you have your tune channel, and then you go from there. So when you hit your tune channel, you could go more precise instead of going to seek. All right, so we'll turn this off. Okay, we're moving them down to this compartment. You pull the compartment up, and you're gonna have a cigarette lighter, so you could push your cigarette lighter in, and that will heat up. But let's not do that. And then your ashtray. Okay, guys, so we're moving on. Here is your e-brake. It is a lever, like we said. We're gonna do it all. So, all right, we did that. And then coming around, I actually had this car for a couple weeks, and I didn't even know that this was here, so this is actually fun. So there's a compartment underneath here, and you just push up on this lid, and there's a compartment under there. All right, let's put it back down. Okay. All right, now before we get to the driver's side, let's go ahead and look at the glove box in the passenger side. Okay, you can lock it, and if we push this button, it comes down. And there's a button here, guys. It says something about main and trunk. I don't know what that is. I know we've said this a couple times. We're both learning, but we're gonna show you every button. If you know what that is, leave that in a comment. You guys are awesome. Okay, now moving to the passenger side door. Okay guys, we have vents here, pretty standard. All right, these vents are going to be for your air. You could open and close it, standard vents. And this is gonna be your power windows. It is not a one touch down, it is a basic one. Up. And then you have a lock button and then an unlock button. And then this is your door handle. All right, push that. Let me push that open with one hand. All right, let's close that up. All right, and up here is going to be so if your windows need defrosting or something like that. But this little turn lever thing is going to be for opening and closing that vent. Okay, so let's go ahead and move to the driver's side. Well, actually, let's get up here. Okay, guys, if you look up here, it's just your regular dome lights. You have, in case you have, if you want the passenger side, driver's side, and then on. And this is for your doors. So when you put it in this middle one, when you open your door, they'll come on. So let's turn that off. Okay. All right, guys, for the driver's side, we're going to start off with the steering wheel. On the steering wheel, we have identical horn buttons. We have a right one and a left one. And we have on here, which I think is pretty cool because of the age of the car. And I think this was new technology back then. This is going to be your cruise control. And you could do your buttons as you're driving, which is pretty neat, ahead of its time. Okay. All right, guys. Moving on to the right side. I really like this switch. And I really like these switches. They're pretty cool. If you look right here, this shows hazards, but you put your finger here and you push it in, and that's your hazard. All right, you come over to the left and you're gonna have a defrost button. It's a push-in button, and the light comes on, you turn it on, and what that does is that it turns on. If you look back here, if you see those lines on the glass, those heat up, and if you have snow on there, that will help to loosen that snow up so you could drive the car. So, all right, moving on to the next button. Okay, this is going to be your windshield wipers, windshield wiper fluid. So, if you do mist, you're gonna push out, and that's gonna the fluid's gonna come out. Now I have to hold it on to get that little motor activated to spray out the water, but we don't want to do that right now. All right. The first part of the switch is going to be for the windshield wipers. So you have intermediate, low, and high. And we're going to do intermediate. And then this little rotation switch down here is the interval time you want it. So if you're intermediate, if you want it longer, you want it shorter, this is what you do with it. All right, so we press it off. We have set the intermediate switch where we want it, and we don't want mist. So we've got this back down. Okay, if we look back here, I'm not sure if you guys could see it, but back here is going to be your traction control switch. The car is not running, so it's not going to have any impact on it right now, but if you press it, you could disable and enable traction control if you need to. All right, if you look inside the gauge cluster, there's a classic button to reset your mileage on the trip mileage. Very standard, so but that is a button. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the left side of the driver's side, and let's do that now. Okay, on to the left side. All right, very well placed is going to be your turn signals. You have your left one, and then you have your right one. And then if you pull on it, you're going to have your high beams. When I activate these, the pop-up lights are going to come up, and they're on. Okay. And they go down after you let them down. So we're going to move on to the cruise control. It's the same as the adjacent side. You push in, and it's going to activate cruise control so you could use the buttons on the steering wheel. You're going to turn it off. So the adjacent button is for the defroster and back, and on the left side is for the cruise. All right, if we move on to the back of here, this is going to be for your lights. So here's your intermediate lights. And then when I turn this over, the lights, the pop-up lights, the headlights are going to come on. And then we're going to turn them off. So one thing to point out is that if you press this button, this will keep the high beams on, and then you have to press it again and they will come off. Your indicator for your high beams are up here, so if you put that on there, you will see them. They will come off. Okay, let's turn off the headlights. All right, back here, it's hard to see, but there's a similar button to the audio system. If you push it out, you could adjust the brightness to your instrument panel, your gauge cluster, and center console. So we'll adjust the brightness to your desire. Once you've adjusted it, you push it in, and you're good to go. Okay, let's go ahead and get this door on its way. Okay, on the door we have, like the passenger side, we have a lock and unlock button. We have your door handle to open your door. We have your vents that you could adjust and also that you could close. And then you also have your on and main, where you could control your passenger and your passenger's control of the window switch. And then you have your windows. What I do like about this, and I find it's really neat, is that this car in 1991 came in with a one-touch down button. I think that's pretty cool. All right, and then you have your side mirrors. You have your left one. You have putting it back into neutral or position, and then your right side. And then this little keypad style type of switches where you can control it up, down, left, and right for the motor inside the side mirrors. Okay guys, this is a pretty neat switch. When you press this switch, it doesn't activate the lights. It just moves the motors for the pop-up lights up and down if you need them to. So I'm going to press this button and the pop-up lights are going to come on without the lights. So the pop-up headlights are up, but they're not illuminated, and we're going to press them again. And they're going to go down. All right guys, that was a fun video. I really enjoyed it. I really have to thank the YouTube community for such a great idea. And guys, thank you for always being there and for liking our videos. We punch these buttons for you, so do me a favor and punch that like button and that subscribe button. And guys, thanks for watching Driver's Therapy, and see you soon.